And switching into game, and it's on.
Yeah, we good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay, there we go. Hello everyone and welcome to the DotA2.fr Tournament of today, which is Wednesday. And we are going to see Team ASR facing off against Team Fureur. And I'm really excited for this match because it has been such a long time since we've been casting one of the DotA2.fr tournaments. And joining me together are three of my VicaraGaming friends. First of all, Duke, then there's Kazuto, as well as Taris, who is also going to be joining us for his first ever DotA2.fr tournament match. So how are all of you guys?
Everything's fine on my side.
That's great to hear. So, just one minute until we're going to start the draft.
Well, 6 of 7 are loaded, by the way. 6 of 7 spectators are loaded.
Yep, just a bit of a slower PC. Sincerest apologies.
Wait, people are... Oh wait, I see what I did.
It'd be really nice if my computer would stop being awful. Be a nice beginning.
I forgot to switch up my open mic.
Fair enough. See, what I'm really looking forward to out of this game is that we have ASR, who currently are topping the leaderboard of the DotA2.fr Tournament, and Fureur, one of the top, one of the top international French teams. They're currently playing in the JGL in the second division in Group 1, I think. So really solid team, got a good reputation, and just coming out of a 75-minute game in the ESL tournament. And we're going to see how that is going to affect them.
Dire team ban.
We do have stand-ins today for Fureur. We have some amalgamation of Q's, U's, and numbers. I'm going to call him Kulu. That shall be his name. And we actually have Paris from Team Sigma filling in for ASR. And we're going to get straight into the draft, and we're going to start off with your daily slot ban, and what I really hope to not have banned out, which is the Ember Spirit. Such a fun hero to see it. If he gets a bit behind, he really does just completely drop off the face of the earth. But if you just get him that quick farm, he gets those 4 levels and Sleight of Fist. You get a Deso, and maybe a Chrysalis, and you are going to start just sieging so brilliantly, just cutting everyone down. Supports are going to take 300 damage, minimum every 6 seconds. It's absolutely incredible the amount of just push potential and harassment that you have coming out of the Ember Spirit. We also will have the Timsaw ban coming out ASR directed towards Fureur, and Visage from Fureur. The Timsaw ban, obviously, once again, just really top tier pick at the moment. Really, you don't want to let him get his way. He gets his arcane boots, he gets level 7, maybe the offlane, and he'll just rotate and just create pressure. The Visage is equally a very strong hero. Soul Assumption is really useful if you're looking for a tri lane. And what we didn't point out is that Invoker was not banned by either team, and ASR chose to take up the Crystal Maiden first over the Invoker.
User disconnected
and
from channel.
We do see an instant Invoker pick and Marana out of Fureur. The Invoker, even with the recent buffs across Wex, it saw quick in the pro scene. We're seeing a lot more cross Wex than we did before. It's now 50-50 if you go in Exalt Cross or Cross Wex. So it does bring a bit more flexibility towards the hero. And you've got Marana there. Really,
5 seconds remaining.
And got a really solid Marana pick there. And think we are just going to quickly swap our team speak. So we will just quickly jump over to there.
Sound resumed.
Obviously, it's still going to be broadcasting in-game, but just for anyone who's watching the stream, we are just quickly jumping.
Sound muted. Sound resumed.
In the cast.
10 seconds
Yep,
remaining.
so sorry about that. And we do see the gyrocopter being picked up by ASR for their final
User
pick
was
in the
moved
first
to your
stage.
channel.
And it's just a really
Reserve
solid
time.
hero just to pick in any situation. You've got decent spread damage, you've got an early game nuke, you've got a fairly
User was moved to your
presence
channel.
different situations.
Sound
And then
muted.
and then obviously you've got the custom made ultimate if it's able to get that off over that. But what we really want to see is the early levels in Frostbite roaming around, going to cut off their offlaner and just get those early level in Rocket Barrage really put it to use. Okay, so we're gonna get to the bans, and we've got the Bane pickup is a pretty standard ban whenever they pick Mirana. If they pick Bane up first, you ban Mirana. It's just a really brutal combo.
5 seconds remaining.
That without some without a ranged hero on hand to stop to help, it's really difficult to play against because you can't play solo. You have to play as duos. And we also see the Death Prophet, which would just be brutal if you're picked up. You've got the Moonlight Shadow, who got that 15-second invisibility. And then if you put that Death Prophet invisibility during her ultimate, obviously the spirits are still flying around, they're doing the damage. And although we are looking for ASR to be able to, they are going to pick up the Dust and the Sentries against the Mirana. It could prove absolutely devastating. And obviously got the Nyx and the Abaddon ban from Fureur. I mean, I'm going to see the Earthshaker coming up. Another support that has really risen in the last 2 patches. We had the extra range to Fisher, and then in the last patch you had to change to Blink Dagger, removing the mana cost, which really just absolutely so crucial for Earthshaker to get that Blink Dagger. However, for the early stages of the game, we could actually see if ASR don't adequately cover themselves with sentries and have Dust in its right positions, we could see the Moonlight Shadow into the Echo Slam from the Earthshaker. And we do get a Clockwork pick out from ASR. And it's going to be... Clockwork's an interesting one to pick against an Earthshaker because, yeah, the cogs are really useful. And you can completely set yourself up. And you can really escape really easily with just set up your cogs, they get pushed away, you break the cog, you walk away, you've only got a barrier between you and them. But the Earthshaker, you put up the cogs, there's a fissure in between you and your exit, and if you get it perfectly positioned, you just completely block off the exit, and it's just free time just to harass him and potentially kill him. So we are. So some of the picks I would like to see I would like to see actually a Dazzle picked up for Fureur, because it would be really nice to play up against the Clockwork into the cooldown. But we do see a Viper.
Radiant team pick.
These are likely to be our cores for Fureur. It's going to be the Invoker, Mirana, Viper. But what we will be seeing is either the Invoker or Viper, either safe lane or towards the mid. And I think with another hero, maybe aggressive hero or even a jungler, and leave the Earthshaker Mirana duo bottom,
10 seconds
it could be
remaining.
really, really strong here in this situation.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I think out of ASR, what we're really looking for is a mid who they've got a decent amount of jump, but the disengage from Fureur is extremely, like, the stall and disengage from Fureur is extremely potent. With the tornado, deafening blast, you got the Midnight Shadow, you got the Fissure. So you really want something for your mid, who really can just completely lock down it. Like a puck would be really, really brilliant here. If you could just get like that, like 3 or 4 man silence. If you can silence the Earthshaker, Invoker, and like Mirana, you've more or less won that fight, because Invoker is going to do nothing if you can't cast spells. Earthshaker, once again, will be useless, and it won't be able to disrupt the fight with his Echo Slam and Fissure. We are going to see what ASR want to pick up. I think we may see it at some point. We've still got some more time left in their bonus time. But if we just have a look at what they've got overall, they've got the Clockwork ulti, they've got the hook shot into a cooldown. Crystal Maiden is going to be really, really weak in this situation, and a Shadow Fiend.
That's a very nice pickup.
Indeed.
One of the problems about Shadow Fiend in this situation is that unless he can get a little bit of support into the mid lane, or the Invoker does go cross-legs.
10 seconds remaining.
Unless he can get his quick souls, he's just going to be denied and harassed.
Remaining.
Like, if he goes cross-legs, the massive the short cooldown on the mini stuns from Cold Snap is going to absolutely destroy Shadow Fiend, and then just follow it up with a tornado for a burst 100 damage. That's going to be really difficult for him.
This is a really good ban, by the way. The Alchemist would be a very good hero against that Shadow Fiend. Together with the Shadow Fiend, I mean, my bad.
DotA team pick.
See, I think if they did that, they'd be lacking a bit too much sort of just strong engagement. The concoction's fairly decent, but I would have preferred something like a puck for the mid lane and potentially stronger support. However, we'll see what they want to pick up. They do ban out the Enigma for Fureur, which goes on the lines of thinking where I was thinking the jungler would be really strong for them. But I don't think we're going to see a Chenna Enchantress really. If they really were going to pick it up, I think they would have picked it up earlier into the draft. But on the other hand, we could just see them just picking up another like solid support, something to go with Shaker. Just so they can do that roaming support, because Mirana will be relatively safe on this off lane against the Crystal Maiden Gyrocopter.
5 seconds remaining.
They were going to get the Jungle Doom, which could be really, really nice in this situation, because Shadow Fiend is extremely squishy. And a Space Cow.
A Space Cow? Okay, that was a good joke.
Haven't you heard the cast me and Duke did a few days back?
No, I didn't.
Did you come up with any new Space Cow jokes, Duke?
No, I'm completely out. However, I will stick to more of the content in this game rather than trying to focus on the cow. So what I really want to see the action for this Invoker Shadow Fiend. But with the Spirit Breaker, we are going to see there is more potential for the Invoker to be picked up and shut down. But if I recall correctly, it was ASR that picked up the Spirit Breaker to begin with. This was a strategy that they ran. And their support Spirit Breaker got a 5. I think he got like a 10-minute Midas from a support role. I'm just going to quickly just go into the
30
team
seconds to battle.
lineup for Fureur. We are going to have Keck running that. Oh, has a really nice Invoker keep. So we're going to have Keck on the mid lane Invoker. We will have Nick in the jungle with Matrice on the Viper up top. This is what I expected. I expected like, so we're going to have the Mirana and the Earthshaker duo laning the off lane. Actually, I think what we might see is how many. Yeah, we're going to see a Fisher block off onto like the Fisher is going to fish across here when the creeps come. And he's actually decided not to do it. He had himself in a position. He has the clarities to do it. Oh yeah, of course. The ancients haven't actually spawned yet, but we do actually have space. We have Space Scout with the haste ring. So it's going to get a little bit of harassment onto the Mirana. But I can quickly go over ASR. We have Ton Mayo on the Spirit Breaker. We have Paloma on the Crystal Maiden. MKZ on the Gyrocopter, Sumar on the Clockwork, and the stand-in for today, Soksha or Paris on the Shadow Fiend. So it is going to be an excellent poker, which is really going to play into Keck's favour with the early game from the Shadow Fiend, as he doesn't have like a decent amount of right-click damage. And we do see Earthshaker utilising these ancients and blocking off the creeps. So basically denying entire creep waves to the Gyrocopter. And we are seeing this like the harassment that comes out from the boss Exile Invoker just with the Cold Snap. And you see just how much damage the SF takes. He's extremely squishy in the early portions of the game, and there's very little that he can really do in the situation.
Still keeping up okay when it comes to the last hits with the Invoker though.
Yeah, he's really making use of the Shadow Rays, and smartly doesn't decide to get a second point in Necromastery, as he doesn't have enough souls anyway to be able to justify that. Oh, and
Duke,
some
you
reason
dropped out there.
Yep.
Let me just quickly
Yep,
fill in for you then until you reconnect. So let's take a look over here. There is a DD rune on the top side of the river. Six going to pick it up, use it to his jungling ability. We're going to see the Ton Mayo on the Spirit Breaker also heading over into the jungle right now, probably trying to get some XP before he heads out to start roaming a little bit. He might be found out by Crush on the Mirana here. And he
the Spirit
will
Breaker is
both decide to back off.
Yeah, I think the problem with like Mirana and the Spirit Breaker is that if Spirit Breaker goes on Mirana, Mirana will just keep away. But if Mirana goes on the Spirit Breaker, obviously they've got the support from the Crystal Maiden and the Gyrocopter very close by. So it's really a stalemate for the both of them. So they just decide, right, gentleman's agreement, let's both go.
Have you reconnected yet, by the way?
I think I've just almost reconnected.
Okay, that's great. Well, luckily for you and for us, nothing really extraordinary has happened in the past minute or so.
I think one of the things we're going to be looking at for this game is the situation between the Invoker and the Shadow Fiend. That's really going to dictate the course of this game. How well Soksha can up his last hits, and actually make all the last hits and denies really, because you really need those souls. And what sort of early item builders are going to go into. Is going to go tread BKB, or just brown boots into blink and just get us some really nice positioned raises.
Here
and
comes
really
Space Cow, by the way.
Space Cow did it.
First blood goes to Van Mayo on the Spirit Breaker. Very nice engagement there, and a very nice Shadow Race to double Shadow Race actually to finish it off.
Yeah, true.
That has just completely changed the momentum of this lane. Whenever Shadow Fiend gets a kill, he does. If he gets the kill on a hero, he gains 12 souls, which just completely changes the dynamic of the middle lane. As he's just gained about, he gains 24 damage for a kill if he's not at max souls. And we are actually going to see the engagement on the bottom. We are going to see the Mirana go down, and that was the Space Cow just engaging from the lane. But we do actually see the early level up in the rocket, really quite useful for the gyrocopter, just cementing just that extra little bit of crowd control. But one of the things we're forgetting is just the amount of farm that this Viper is going to be able to get.
He's uncontested.
Yeah, it's got straight into a Midas. It's going to look into a really high level. Let's see, just an early mechanism will be really useful. I would really like to see a blink come out of the Shadow Fiend, because if you your positioning on the razors can be quite good, decent. With a blink dagger, you can just be absolutely godlike, especially with. So you technically have 900 damage in nukes at level 7, and it's just amazingly. And we actually do see.
Oh, on the bot line something. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the creeps
the
did
arrow.
get in the way
There's a
of
homing
the
missile.
arrow. There's very little screen coming in. They've brought the creep aggro up, which is going to be really nice for
Radiant's
Fureur,
bottom
but
tower is under attack.
very little that ASR are going to be able to do anything about it anyway.
There's another Charge of Darkness on Kek on the Invoker.
Yep, and it's really nice as well with the Clockwork just thrown in that rocket flare. Well, the Clockwork actually maxing the rocket flare. They're getting that really nice burst damage. But
That is straight up region rune.
Yeah, this is what we were really going to see
Dire's middle
for
tower
the
is under
Shadow Fiend.
attack.
Without the SF helping, there was very little that the Shadow Fiend would be able to do. And we actually do see the charge going again onto the Viper, so we are going to see a re-engagement. And Viper knows, because they were still chasing up into the high ground. But nice little hook shot coming out of Sumar just completely confirms it. So we are going to see the balance of the mid lanes just completely shifted after those ganks for the on the Invoker. Still getting some decent levels, and we are going to see another charge, but he is too far away, playing really, really safe. Didn't have any eyes on the Spirit Breakers, so thought, no, not leaving my tower. It's not safe to be away from here. We're seeing some more clarity to come out for the Earthshaker, so he is going to block the wave again. But even though some of these waves are getting denied, Fox is getting some really, really nice farm, and it's actually contesting with the free farm Viper. But I'm wondering who is actually going to get the mechanism for Fureur, because Doom has got an early arcane boots, which sort of leans towards getting a mechanism, because you really need that extra mana to be able to use you want to be able to use Doom and the mechanism, which is an extremely large amount of mana.
Very nicely done by that Gyro over there. And he might actually get a double kill here.
Guess you didn't know a little
And
game
the
of
spam ping
freeze
coming
tag
out
could turn
from
lethal.
the gyrocopter onto the Crystal Maiden. That 54 damage, absolutely brutal.
Charge of Darkness coming on again on the Invoker mid.
But they will be able to dive this because of the creep wave, and a nice use of the cold snap. But we are going to see the TP straight in, and
Dire's bottom
nice,
tower is
so
under
straight.
attack.
Nice sunstrike.
Yeah.
Well,
And some really nice, just a nice rotation out of the Doom, just using that Scorched Earth, just that really decent movement speed, and the bonus regeneration just to be able to man fight it with the Shadow Fiend. And do we have the Clockwork? The Clockwork not attempting a rocket flare snipe whatsoever.
Dire's top
I'm
tower
not
is
entirely
under
sure
attack.
if it even had killed someone.
No, it wouldn't have been able to kill Viper. Rocket Flare level 3 deals 160 damage. Viper was over 160 life all the time.
Earthshaker had 100 damage, 100 health when he was walking up. Earthshaker was very low after that fight at mid, and he was the one in danger of being killed. So we're going to see a Helm of the Dominator come out for our Gyrocopter. We're not opting for the Midas since he was getting denied those few levels. And we are going to see a Moonlight Shadow, which is just to get the Viper out of trouble. Straight into the Viper Strike, but the Doom is just not able to get into the right position. And I'm not going to have a nice little TP out there. But the Mirana ultimate, really, really useful for these early situations.
Radiant's
But
bottom tower
you are
under
going
attack.
to see that the Spirit Breaker is going to start picking up. Yeah, he's already picked up dust for his next charge. So this Moonlight Shadow is not going to become useful anymore.
Well, the charge, dust. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome combination.
I think one
There
of
we
the
go,
things
space
that
on the way.
yeah, straight into the mid lane, and what could be it's a really quick cold snap, but pushing back into the tower. Yeah.
Ooh.
Almost stacks the ancient camp as well with this charge. And actually, the Clockwork actually able to solo the Viper. That's extremely surprising.
Oh, an easy kill pickup for Shadowfind.
Yeah, not even using the haste room.
Now getting that blink dagger you talked
Dire's
about.
bottom tower is under attack.
It's really, really nice to get that early onto the Shadow Fiend.
Radiant's middle
Another charge
tower
coming up.
is under attack.
There we have it.
Yeah.
The archives of time.
See, with the early levels that the
Dire's
Shadow Fiend,
structures are
the
fortified.
Spirit Breaker was able to get, he's matching the levels of cores on Fureur. He's sitting at 7
Dire's
at the same
bottom
level
tower
as the
has been
Mirana.
denied.
And we are going to see the Earthshaker fall to the haste rune on the Shadow Fiend. There's some really nice rotations coming out of Team ASR here. And the Fog of War saving the Shadow Fiend, but it landing the arrow, but there is no way for them to go on it. And we actually see the Charge of Darkness come across from the base onto the Viper. And we have got a headdress on the Viper, so we are potentially going to see the mechanism coming out for him. And that will be a dead Viper on this day, using the ultimate just to completely settle that fight. A really, really lovely Echo Slam coming out of the Earthshaker, but it is not enough. And the Ghost Wall being used to slow down the Spirit Breaker, but using the charge and the AoE damage to pick off the Invoker. But we did actually see it in the back of that fire. Sorry, I missed it, but we saw the Mirana and the Doom just come in the back and just completely clean up the SF and Crystal Maiden. really what we were looking for that fight is that Clockwork did not TP to the bot tower and try and get a hook shot in, and the Echo Slam out Earthshaker was absolutely amazing. It's completely destroyed the gyrocopter, and if he had been able to maybe get some off, like get another rocket barrage, get a few flex shots out, it really would have been an easier fight for them. But a nice little turnaround out of Fureur. So I think they want to see a gang onto the SF because he is going to start getting extremely big.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
We do have the rocket flares. It's going to be able to scout out the Earthshaker. So we're going to get the mechanism coming out for the Viper. We're going to get drums for the Doom. And I'm interested to what the Invoker really wants to go into. I think like getting like an early Necro book would be really useful here. He just really wants some extra tankability, and with the amount of AoE damage that ASR do, just having those melee minions on the field just be absolutely devastating. And we do have a second Midas, a third Midas actually for Fureur. So we're currently sitting on 3 Midases, one for the Marauder, one for the Invoker, and one for the Viper.
Well, they had a lot of disadvantages with the Ghoul, so it could help.
I think what really is going to provide them is in a situation where they're getting just fewer last hits, and well, not exactly fewer last hits, they're behind in last hits, and they're getting ganked more. It's going to be able to allow them to keep up the keep the level disparity more even. The experience is only 2,500 in favour of ASR, so a really minuscule difference if you take into the fact they're heroes. You're still going to get Doom, you're still going to get a nice combo, and we do actually see a really overzealous Clockwork. And a nice deafening blow, and the Doom as well onto the Spirit Breaker. He was not able to get off the shots. And just a complete turnaround for Fureur. Spirit Breaker really just going and really just going too hard into that fight after the Clockwork had died, and they had 3 members there, and he just went in on his own. But I'm going to see the Force Off come out. We're going to see a Force Off being built on the Invoker, which is going to be really useful. You're going to be able to Force Off people out if they get charged. It's just it'll be a way to keep you a bit to safer against the Shadow Fiend. Then we do see the mechanism pick up. We see the Force Staff pick up. So we're getting really some core items for Fureur. We're only sitting on about 1,000 gold for NKZ. Whereas at this point, I think if he had a Midas, he really would have been probably would have been a lot closer to his BKB. So though it's fortunate because they're not actually making much pressure, and they're not having much pressure forced onto them. But we could see a rocket. I think we are going to see a rocket here come out onto the Marana. But we are just going to see a quick TP out. Oh, and it's not enough. A nice little blinking double ray, a single ray has come out of the Shadow Fiend. Straight back in the mid lane to stop that push. I think we're going to see a... thing is, we've got the Force Staff against the... Clockwork. And the Invoker that's getting bashed everywhere. Force Off away, Clockwork cogs, and then the bash down the hill.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
It was a nice little start, but I think just overzealous, and there wasn't enough follow-up.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
He went onto the Shadow Fiend and kept hitting him while the Clockwork just walked around the creeps and just just got a really easy hook onto him. And we are going to see a kill onto the Clockwork using the Moonlight Shadow, and there is nothing the Clockwork can do. But we did actually see the Mirana picking off the Gyrocopter, and we are going to see the second deny of the game.
Dire's bottom tower has been
ASR
denied.
have had 2 towers denied and only got the mid lane.
Again.
Yes, it's really what they really need to pick up versus the like the Moonlight Shadow and the Ghost Walk as well. Because if he starts getting those levels in Wex, he's just going to run around, scout out everything, and there's nothing they can do. And this is the transition which I like for a Shadow Fiend. But
he's going on Quas.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yes, but what's likely to happen is he's going to get those 3 level. You're going to max out his Exor, and likely will be more likely to max out the Wex after that. So still will be getting those levels of Wex to increase his movement speed in the Ghost Walk.
Could be true.
But yeah, this is what I really like out of his Shadow Fiend is the blink into BKB. There is nothing you can do to stop that ultimate.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Unless Doom is able to just hit the point and the Space Cow onto the Viper straight away. So there's no mechanism for
really nice.
Fureur anymore. And then a nice Sunstrike. And will they pick up the gem? But no, we're going to see the blink in from the SF, but straight into the Doom, which really just completely shut him down, really. And here's going to get him. Oh, didn't get the deny to the neutrals. Just that last tick of damage. And did we pick up the gem? Yes, Earthshaker has the gem from the Clockwork.
Under attack.
So we're going to see a kill trade in favour of ASR. But obviously got the Gyro just still pushing in the into the bottom. Like, just being able to push that tier 3 tower down to below half health.
Shadows, take
but we did pick up the gem, and also picking up the Spirit Breaker was really nice. Yeah, using those double Force Spirits and the Cold Snap is really useful. The Spirit Breaker because it just gets completely shut down. It's all his movements, and we do see the Clockwork just pushing onto the Invoker, but just there was enough damage there and not enough health.
Right as he was about to teleport too.
Yeah, he was just TPing back to base, so it was already a nice pick off. Not only did he kill him, managed to take away that gold as well. And we are going to see the Viper pick off the Clockwork. It was fairly close, but we are actually going to see the SF for the Invis room move up into the Dire jungle. Let's see what he can get out. He can. I think he's ready. He's got his blink up. He's got his blink up in 1 second, and he is going to jump onto the Viper. And a miss raise there, using the Q instead of the E. So missing out on a free kill there. And what are we going to see? The rotation out of the Doom. He doesn't. The Doom doesn't have the movement speed to be able to keep up with him, and didn't have the sight to be able to nuke him to disable the blink. We are seeing some really nice ward coverage at the moment come out of Fureur, because they really want to push that mid lane really soon. But we've got the BKBs on the SF and the Gyrocopter, and that's just really crucial. Whereas we're likely to be looking at a Sanjin Yasha for the Viper. The Invoker will be going for a BKB. The Doom picking up, going for an AC. The Mirana is likely just to go for either just a quick Maelstrom. Oh, we do actually have the Doom onto the SF. But it's just not enough. He cannot kill him by himself, and there's a minute and a half where Doom is down and there is nothing they can do. We do actually see the Maiden and a hook shot from the Clockwork onto the Doom. And I think we are going to see a really nice fight here, because there's not enough mana for the mechanism on the Viper, but he is able to pick off the Swordbreaker. And not extremely good ulti out of the Shadow Fiend. Really losing something over my words here. But just being able to pick off the Viper just with the ulti proc from death. But what we really want to take into account is that Fureur are trading even when the item advantage is really in favour of ASR. Not so much the gold advantage; it's more what items they have. Like you got the BKBs, which really shut down the the Invoker's damage. However, it's proving to not be enough, as now Fureur do take the XP advantage and are pushing towards leveling out the gold. We are starting to see some really nice items come out from Fureur. But I think what we really need to take into account is that these Midases are really just proving so really useful, just keeping them up in levels. And see the Invoker actually being able to pick up the Wex, putting the second level in the Wex, and this should be starting to pick up that. And I think we could see a Doom onto the SF. They just don't know where he is, and a nice little spot out from the Swordbreaker. Just going to quickly scout out then. And we do see the charge onto the Invoker, and we do see the and a nice cold snap along with the Force Staff. But we do see the Doom coming out onto the SF, so he's just unable to do anything for that fight. And during that entire fight, the Clockwork is simply just taking out the Doom, but the Doom had done his job. And we do see a really nice ulti come out of the Shadow Fiend. And then the cooldown to just delay the fight. We still are seeing an advantage fight in favour of Fureur. The Doom did his job. He got the Doom off on the Shadow Fiend. And if Paris had been able to blink in and just use his Requiem on the Invoker or on even the Viper, really just has completely changed the tone of that fight. And we are actually coming up close to a Blink Dagger for the Earthshaker. So we are going to see that pick up very soon, and it will be an AC out of the Doom, which is going to be really nice pickup. Going to get just nullify that the presence of the Dark Lord from Shadow Fiend, and just add to the tankiness. So you got the AC, you got the 5 armor from that, then you got the 5 armor from the mechanism. Sorry, incoming. Yeah, so you got the 2 armor from the mechanism when you activate it, so you got that extra bit of health. And I'd like to see the Doom go so like a Vlad's really, just to be able to give himself just that bit more armor, or maybe like a Shiva's, and just get that a bit more imps,
Radiant's bottom tower
mana pool,
is under attack,
and just really ramp up his armor. And we are actually very close for the BKP for Invoker, or potentially the Aghanim, so I'm very likely.
Here we go.
And there is the Meteor definitely last combo, and the blink, beautiful from the Earthshaker, and the Requiem only going onto the Earthshaker, and we are going to see them just going to completely shut down the SF. A nice little raise and the death proc, but it is not enough, and we see a massive 5-for-2 fight for Fureur. That Earthshaker, absolutely brilliant. Really putting that Blink Dagger to use. The first use of it, and it completely decimates the fight. And we're just going to see just a whole new host of items come out for
Radiant's middle
Fureur
tower
here.
is under attack.
So, because we got the... Yeah, so we're going to have... Got a S and Y
Radiant's middle
out
tower
for
is under
the
attack.
Viper. What do we
Radiant structures are fortified.
Okay, Invoker decides
Radiant's top tower is under
some
attack.
travel just to be able to just get around the map quick and just be able to provide some global
Radiant's
anti-push.
middle tower is under attack.
There's a charge on the Evoker here. No,
Yeah.
now he's backing off.
No, yeah. There's without the support, the Invoker would just be able to cold snap him and walk away. So without other people there, it's very wise then just to back off from that. So we're getting close to the Manta style for the Mirana. We are almost at a BKB. I think I'd like to see a BKB out of the Viper here because it'd be really nice up against the SF. But we do see the AC now being picked up by the Doom, which is really just going to be just really useful. So you've got the Adu Treads, you've got the SMY, you've got the Hand Mines, and now you've got the AC Aura. This Viper is just going to be attacking like an absolute storm. And if you add the Alacrity from the Invoker, you got that 40% attack speed and the 80 bonus damage. It's going to be absolutely massive. And we do see a smoke just behind the Invoker, potentially looking to bait something here, but the rest of the Radiant team are on the bottom lane. And there's a Manta style out for the Shadow Fiend. This is the sort of build that I really like. None of this like Daedalus or just early crit. Just get that attack speed up. Get your you don't need much it's like flat damage, but just attack hard and fast. That's the thing really
Radiant's
for me.
middle tower
And
has
a
been
deny
denied.
onto the middle tower. And Gyro's now got his NKB, so this is going to be like the potential for the next fight. So he's got his next big damage item, and should be able to convert this into some like just hard fought damage. But what I'm really being impressed with this game is just the advantage that ASR had at the beginning of the game. I think they were like 10 to 2 at one point. And there's some really nice fights, some nice TPs, and maybe some questionable decisions have really just put them in the driver's seat. And we do see that BKB now coming out from the Invoker. So now he is extremely difficult to go on.
We should also be
Allies disappear.
should also be seeing the next big item coming up from the Viper, by the way.
Yes,
It's
we
very
do.
close to that Manta.
We do actually see another Echo Slam, and completely locking up the SF. He barely gets his PK off, but it is not enough. And a really nice freezing field. However, it is not enough. It is a 5 for 1, a brilliant fight coming out of Fureur. Just completely leveling the field, and I think for me the Viper just goes straight into the Butterfly next. Really just completely destroy any chance of them being able to hit you. You've got the fast attack speed, make it even faster.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But that fight, we just saw this. So we saw the Viper TP in with the Mirana ultimate. We saw just how useful it was. So the Earthshaker blinked in, he got the
Radiant's
Echo
middle
Slam off,
tower is under attack.
and then he followed it up with Fisher. And the SF is not able to get his
Radiant's
BKB
middle
off
tower
at all.
has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So we're going to see them just
Radiant's
snipe
top
away the
tower is under
agents.
attack.
And there we go, there's the Vlads I really wanted to see out of the Doombringer. So now it's going to get another 5 armor, a bit of a mana regen, which really isn't that key. But it's that lifesteal. It's that lifesteal and the extra armor. Apologies for the framing. Okay, stop now. We are actually going to see a pause, so let's take this time just to have a look at where you stand.
That was
really
very
in the golden
convenient for you.
experience. Yes, that was extremely convenient. So we are looking at a 10,000 gold advantage now. Just completely dive bombing in favor of Fureur. Completely well earned. The Earthshaker really just putting that Blink Dagger to use instantly. The Blink Initiation onto the SF is just really difficult for him to deal with. As an SF personally, in my experience of what I've tried to do with it, is you can't let them engage on you. If they've got a really heavy engaged team, you stay back, and then as they've used their stuff, you blink in BKB ulti and change the fight, or you start the fight by getting a blink BKB ulti and nuking one person completely. You're really not in a position to be able to for like an Earthshaker just to go on you, because he just can't stand up against it. And we also see the experience advantage tipping over like 16, 17k mark in favor of Fureur now. I think we're going to see a Cypher Vice coming out for the Invoker, which will be a really nice pickup. And we do see the teleport onto the Queen and picking off the Spirit Breaker. But we do see the Doom onto the SF after using that really, say, mediocre Requiem. He does get denied, but it could prove absolutely catastrophic. We do have to force that in a couple of seconds. And see a nice BKB, but is he able to? Yeah, he's able to pick up the Earthshaker, but that might be the end of him. We do have the cold snap up. So yeah, that's going to be the death of Gyrocopter, which is really not what you want to have as Fureur. And another 5 for 1 white. This Earthshaker just killing himself every fight, just getting in there, stunning everyone, and just Viper sitting on 8k gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Don't be mean to them and buy something.
Yeah, he needs to.
And what we're gonna and we do see a he just picked up a Demon Edge.
Demon Edge.
I personally am surprised he didn't go a Rapier and pick up the Aegis and just go full YOLO mode. However, I think they just want to secure this game a bit more, so really interested to what he really wants to go into here. Like a crit would be really nice against the Gyrocopter, because you just completely destroy him and like just really kill him really quickly. You've got really decent attack speed. So
there's a Mirana on YOLO mode, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like it do anything, but there is a sentry which hasn't spotted him. But actually, no, the sentry, the wards from the Radiant did spot it out. So that's what they knew about. They knew about the rune. We're not going to see a butterfly out from the Viper actually, because we do obviously Gyro picked up that MKB, so that evasion's really not going to be that useful. But he really needs to pick up something soon. Like if they turn a fight around, it could just prove devastating for Fureur. If ASR, if the SF doesn't get picked off immediately, and they're just able is able to get a really nice Requiem, and we do actually see him run over an Observer Ward, and we are going to see a Requiem come in, but straight into the Doom, and the Viper is going to just take him down, and then a really nice Tornado meatball into the blast combo, and they're just gonna finish up. Another 5 for 1. This is more or less GG for ASR.
Yeah, Fureur.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But
Radiant structures are fortified.
So
see, with their lineup, if they just get a really nice cooldown, a really nice Requiem, they really can turn around these fights. So I think unless they take lose a heavy fight up on high ground, I don't think that's going to be the game. But do we have the buyback on Gyro?
Yeah, 2 of the 5 heroes have buyback.
Yes, we do have the buyback on the gyro. I think they're just going to sack the racks here. Right, we've got decent wave clear.
Radiant's
we can keep this up.
Has fallen.
Even with it constantly pushing into us, we can keep it going. But I think if they take a second racks in here, this is going to be extremely. And what we've got picked up. The Viper's actually going to pick up his MKB and his butterfly at the same time.
Has fallen.
Is that a surprise, to be honest?
I'm not too surprised about MKB. I'm surprised they did pick up a butterfly. I suppose he really just wanted to save himself up against the SF because he just started getting some right clicks. And even though the evasion is not going to work versus the gyrocopter, he's now is still sitting on 25 armor, which is a massive amount. We do see a heavy influx of items coming out for Fureur, so we now get the sheepstick onto the Invoker. And we do actually see a space charge onto the Invoker along with the clockwork ulti preceding it. And I really wanted them to just give up that kill to the gyrocopter. Really could have used that extra bit of gold. And they are going to take this opportunity just to push down mid, but we do have the buyback from Invoker, so it really isn't going to avail to too much. Yeah. The problem with the BKB on Spirit Breaker, right now he doesn't have that much attack speed, so he's not able to BKB in and just do what he wants and just repeatedly lock down people. You see the Mirana in a flanking position, and we did. The Earthshake could get blown up and saw a buyback out of the Invoker. But we can see a mediocre ulti out of the SF, but you just see the amount of damage that comes out of like that Manta style, just really useful there. Did we see a buyback? That was a really nice fight for ASR, but just the Invoker just being able to live at the and Crush needs to get out of there. He did have the AESC. I personally don't.
Oh, there goes the GG.
There we go. There's the GG call. As he did have the Viper who just BT'd into their base and was just taking down their towers anyway.
Yeah.
But really nice game out of Fureur. So really refreshing to see the strat come back. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this is the game of the giants of the DotA2.fr League. The two of the top teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, indeed.
I
think there will be a reround, right?
Yeah, second match.
Yeah. So that is. We're going to just go into a quick break until we get into the next game, and then we'll just quickly back up the stream once we are into the next lobby.
Yeah, we're just going to take a quick break now.
Yeah, so stay tuned, and as soon as you hear our voices, we're back. See you until then.